What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another Roblox Studio tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a round system for your game. This round system will be fully customizable for you to adapt in whatever way you want it to be adapted for your game. And always, of course, if you do not want to learn to code, then I will leave this round system in the description, but I highly recommend that you do stick around and watch and learn to continue your development journey. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this tutorial. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is let's make a script inside the server script service. Now you can call this whatever you want. I'm just gonna call this round server. Okay, so before we actually start coding, there's a few things that we have to set up. So in workspace, let's make a folder and we can call this, let's just call it important for now. And inside this folder, let's add in an int value. This will be the round timer. Okay, so once you have this round timer value, I can't think of other things that we'll need right now. I'm kind of just making everything up as I go. So let's start coding. Let's get the important folder, do the workspace.important. Then let's get the round timer. Important.round timer. And now let's make a table and let's call this settings. So table. And this is where we will hold like all of our settings. So we can have like intermission. Let's have an intermission. And this will be equal to however long we want the intermission to be. I'll say like 20 seconds. And how long, let's make a round length. So how long we want each round to be. I'll say like 60 seconds maybe. Then let's have players required and say 2. So this will be the number of players that are actually required to start. Okay. So also let's get the players. So local game get service players. We can say players.player added connect function. Then we'll get the player. And actually, let's inside replicated storage, let's create a remote event. We can call this round. Then let's reference this remote event inside the script. So local replicated storage will be the game get service replicated storage. Then we will get the round event equal to replicated storage event or replicated storage round. And also inside this important folder, let's make a bool value called ongoing. Let's reference this inside the script. Local ongoing will be equal to important.ongoing. Then what we can do is let's check if hashtag players is greater than settings dot players required. Actually, no, it would have to be players get players is greater than settings or greater than or equal to settings dot player required and ongoing dot value is equal to false. Then okay, let's make another bool value. Actually, let's call this intermission. Let's say, and inside settings, let's actually rename intermission to intermission length. Then say local intermission is equal to important dot intermission. Let's say if intermission dot value is equal to false, then intermission dot value will be equal to true. And actually, this isn't even going to be a round timer. This is actually just going to be a timer. We can actually use this just for everything. So let's just rename this let's just rename that to timer, and we can say timer dot value be equal to settings dot intermission length. Then let's add in a while task dot wait 1 do. Let's say if intermission, actually no, if timer dot value is greater than 0, then timer dot value minus equals to 1. Then we can also do players.player removing connect function. Then if we can copy this, then, and we want it to be, if it's less than the players required, then let's just set timer.value equal to 0. Ongoing will be .value equal to false. Intermission.value equal to false. And then actually let's have, say, else if timer.value is equal to 0, then we'll also say if intermission.value equal to true, then intermission.value equal to false. Actually, no, let's make a function for this. Local start round and intermission.value equal to false, ongoing.value equal to true, and let's say timer.value is equal to settings.round length. And we can call this start round function. And actually, I'm going to make another function, local function check players. And all this will do is we'll just copy this and return true, else return false. So if there is enough players, then we're going to return true, and if there's not, then we'll return false. So we can actually just say, right here, we can say check players is equal to true, and we can say if check players is equal to false. And then in here, or right here, we can say if intermission.value is equal to true and check players is equal to true. And ongoing, no, that doesn't matter actually. And then let's also have another if statement. If ongoing.value equal to true, then local function, and we'll end round. Let's have another function for start intermission. So start intermission. So end round is we'll do ongoing.value is equal to false, and we'll just check if is equal to true, then start intermission. And then start intermission, we'll just do intermission.value is equal to true, and timer.value will be equal to settings.intermission length. Then if ongoing.value is equal to true, then we'll end round. And now I'll just look over this real quick. What we'll do is right here is we'll actually, rather than having it like that, we can just say start intermission. And then I think this is all good, but we'll see. Is I will inside starter GUI, I'll make a screen GUI. I'll ignore GUI and set. I'll just call this round GUI. I'll make a text label. I'll name it timer, and I'll have it at the top middle of the screen. So right there, 0.5 is 0, 0.5, or 0.5, comma 0.1, comma 0. And I'll have it be pretty big. I'll have it be like 0.6 and 0.1. It's the background transparency 1. Text scaled. I'll make it white. I'll have just the text be like, I don't know, like not enough players or something like that. But inside this round GUI, let's make a local script. I'm going to call this round client, and let's get local important with a workspace dot important, or no, let's get local GUI is equal to script.parent, and local timer text will be equal to GUI.timer. Oh, whoops. Accidentally named it weird. GUI.timer. And local important with a workspace called wait for child important. And local timer, whoops, is equal to important wait for child, or whoops, wait for child timer. Then local intermission is equal to important wait for child intermission. local ongoing will be equal to important wait for child ongoing. And what we can do is we can say timer dot change when connect function, and it will be the change, and we'll say if intermission dot value is equal to true, then timer text dot text would be equal to, say, intermission space, and we'll have like a parentheses, and we'll say it'll be equal to the change, and then close parentheses. We'll say else if ongoing dot value is equal to true, then have the timer text dot text be equal to like round ongoing, I guess, and then put it in parentheses the change dot and close parentheses. And we'll say else timer text dot text equal to not enough players to start dot dot dot, and it will say like requires, and then actually no, and now actually wait, I'll just copy this. I'll copy this and paste it right here. Actually, I'll just keep this text blank, and what I'll do is I'll add an if statement. So if, actually wait, I guess we didn't even have to do all that. We can just copy this and paste it in here. But, and then we just, rather than having that just be changed, it can be timer dot value. And now I think, let me check, if I join just by myself, it should say not enough players to start at the top, right? Yeah, not enough players to start. But if I say server and clients, and I have it there are 2 players, I test this, let it load, and yeah, okay, there's 2 players in here. You can see I can drag it over from my second monitor. There's 2 players in here, and once this intermission reaches 0, it should say like ongoing round or whatever I said it was, and it seems I made a mistake. Okay, so I think I've found the problem. Let's say less than or equal to 0 just to be safe. And what I'll actually do is we can copy that. Let's say if check players is equal to true, then we can copy that and paste it inside here. And what we'll do is delete this end right here, and let's say else if ongoing that value is equal to true, then we'll end the round. And I think this will work. So now if we test with 2 players again, yeah, okay, we're in, intermission is going, and now this time when it reaches 0, it should say round ongoing, hopefully. There we go. Nice. And if we check, it'll be ongoing is equal to true, intermission false. All right. Okay, so when this reaches 0, it should, there we go, perfect. It goes back to the intermission, and it will keep that loop. And then say one of these things were to leave. So if this one, say, was to leave, if I left on that one, then there we go, updates to not enough players to start. Beautiful. And just a little bit of clarity on how this actually like kind of works is right in this start round function. This is where you would like start everything. You would like, maybe you teleport the players. So this is actually code. This would be the code for starting the round. And then in this end round function, right, this is where you would have the code for stopping the round. So this would be like you're teleporting the players back to the lobby, you're getting rid of the map. All that stuff would happen in this end round function, and this obviously would be the code for your intermission. So if you wanted like if there was things you want to happen during the intermission, this is where it would happen in this. So that is how you would code all 3 of these functions. All right, so that is going to be the end of this tutorial. If you guys made it to the end, I really appreciate it. And also, if you could like and subscribe, that would mean the absolute world to me. This round system is going to be in the description if you want to get it. And yeah, that's about it. Goodbye.